Good YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to you with that instant basketball analysis on Analysis Playground on YouTube, exclusively on there forever. And we're going to talk about how the Cleveland Cavaliers won against the Atlanta Hawks 122 to 116. The Atlanta Hawks go to 45 and 35 and 22 and 18 on the road. The Cavaliers go to 51 and 29 and 26 and 14 at home. Cleveland, they go to 2-1 against the Hawks, and they do actually play them again in 2 days. So this should be a fun one again. If they're anything like the other ones, it should be a competitive game, which is good for the fans, right? Cleveland 33 to 29 in the first, but they lost the second quarter 28 to 27. They won the third 44 to 20, but they lost the fourth quarter 29 to 18. Made it closer, but Cleveland was still able to hold on and win it. Made it into a free throw contest at the end, but it's part of the game. I guess you got to watch it to see how it's going to still end up. That's what's going to keep us interested, I guess. But Hawks, everybody in their starting lineup ended up scoring in double figures. That's a tough thing to do, but they was able to accomplish that. Good Conway finally had another good game. 33 minutes, he had 18 points. He went 7 to 10 from the field, 1 or 2 from 3, 3 or 4 from the free throw line. He did have 5 rebounds, 1 turnover, and a block. 2 offensive rebounds, 2 personal fouls, and was a minus 33 and plus minus. He did a good job of getting open, did a good job of finishing in this game, even if it was for a wide open 3. And he still didn't always avoid contact, which helped him get to the free throw line. Jalen Johnson didn't have the performance that they needed. He had played 34 minutes. He had 12 points. He was driving. He was shooting. He was doing a lot of things. And the problem was he went 4 of 16 from the field. And then he went 0 of 5 from 3. He did go 4 of 4, though, from the free throw line. But it just wasn't enough. The amount of shots that he took and the results that he kept getting was one of the reasons why the Hawks couldn't stay in it and stay on top to be able to get the win. You need your franchise players playing dominant basically against anything in the regular season, and especially against the good to great teams. He didn't do that, and that's one of the biggest reasons why they fell short of getting the win. He did have 2 turnovers in the steal, 2 offensive rebounds, and on top of that, he fouled out and this game. And then he finished as a minus 10, also in plus minus. He was bumping and too reaching and things like that. The ticky-tack fouls, the ref will call them. Someone was obvious too, just being a little bit too aggressive. And it was just some petty, small fouls, but it still added up to him getting fouled out anyway. CJ McCollum, he kept taking jumpers and pull-ups and fadeaways. Kind of worked. He went 6 of 16 from the field, which isn't that great. And then he went 0 of 3 from the three-point line, missing all of them. Then he didn't even get to the free throw line. So he ended up settling and ended up getting 12 points. He had 4 rebounds. He had 4 assists. He had 2 turnovers. He also had 2 steals and 2 blocks. So he was out there trying, and they kept attacking him. They kept going at him. So it made sense for him to try to do something, to make his job a little better on the defensive end, especially. Other than that, he had 1 offensive rebound, 2 personal fouls, and was a minus 4 and plus minus. Nickeil Alexander-Walker played 39 minutes. He was a big help for them. He led them in scoring. He did it efficiently. He had 25 points. He went 10 of 19 from the field. He also went 4 of 9 from 3. He likes to get those up if you give him any room or any type of space, or if you're shorter like Schroeder was, he's going to feel that he got to let that fly. And he got a decent result tonight, so it wasn't a bad decision in this one. He ended up making his only free throw. He had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 turnovers, and 2 steals. Kept attacking the basket, and that worked out for him too. He had 3 personal fouls and was a minus 13 and plus minus. At Dyson Daniels, I'm going to try to take the easiest shot that I can. If I can't do that, I'm going to try to find somebody with a better one or try to reset the offense. So he had 12 points. He went 5 of 11 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. He had 7 rebounds. That's something he's been doing a lot for them. And then he had 6 assists. He has the ball in his hand at a limited amount of time. He's just trying to make a decent decision as much as he can when he has it, even if that means he's not scoring the ball. He had 1 turnover, 2 steals, and a block. He also had 1 offensive rebound, and he was way too touchy in this one for the refs' perspective. Then he fouled out also. He was a -5 and plus minus. And the Cavaliers, they will come at you. They will try to attack you. So if you're late or you're going to try to go for a reach because you got beat, fouls will happen. Corey Kispert, 7 minutes. He ended up going scoreless. He didn't do anything but finished a +1 and plus minus. He did have no turnovers and no personal fouls. Jonathan Kuminga really came in and gave the bench a boost. Played 30 minutes. He ended up having 24 points. He went 11 of 20 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3. He missed his only free throw. He had 6 rebounds off the bench. He also had 3 assists. That was the most off the bench. He had 1 turnover, 1 offensive rebound, 2 personal fouls, and was a +9 in plus minus. And then Muhammad Gay ended up shooting a wide open 3. He went 1 of 3 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. He had 5 rebounds, 1 assist, no turnovers, a steal, and 2 blocks. And that ended up being a two-way game for him in a limited amount of minutes that he played. But he also got caught slipping a couple of times, and he ended up getting 3 personal fouls. He also had 2 offensive boards and was a +25 and plus minus. Gabe Vincent was able to find his range. He went 3 of 3 from 3. That was his only field goals, but he also went 1 of 3 from the free throw line. He made the threes but couldn't make the mid-range, but he did still finish with 10 points. He had 1 rebound, 1 assist, no turnovers. He also had 1 personal foul and was a 0 and plus minus. And then you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Dean Wade, he ended up being the only starter for them not to score in double figures because he finished with 8. He had a nice transition dunk. And this one, other than that, he went 2 of 3 from the three-point line, and he finished 3 of 4 from the field since he missed that 3. He had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, no turnovers, a steal in the block, 2 offensive rebounds, no personal foul, was a +12 and plus minus. Jared Allen, 29 minutes, 16 points. He went 4 of 9 from the field. He ended up going 8 of 11 from the free throw line. He had 8 rebounds, no assists. He also had 3 turnovers. That ended up being the most on the team. He also had 2 steals, and then he had 2 offensive boards and no personal fouls and was a +3 and plus minus. As much as the Hawks was attacking that basket, he didn't get 1 foul in this game. That's impressive. And he did a good job of going directly to the basket. And he was trying to finish a lot of times, but he, like I said, he did get bumped, knocked, or pushed. So it allowed him to get to the free throw line a lot. Evan Mobley was a shining star in the game again. 36 minutes. He kept finishing around the basket real well. He did miss every 3. He went 0 of 3 from the three-point line. He finished 8 of 15 from the field, 6 of 10 from the free throw line. He had 19 boards, so he had a monster double-double. He also had 3 assists, 1 turnover, and 3 blocks. The 3 blocks was game high. It's hard to do that, but he's been one of the better guys at doing it throughout the season and throughout his career. So today was just another night that he wanted to get it done, and he challenged himself to do it. He got the results that he wanted to see because he also got only 1 personal foul in 36 minutes. That's tough against the best players in the world. He also had 4 offensive rebounds, was a +20 and plus minus. James Aim Harden, he had a show where he didn't look good or play good in this one. He had 21 points, but it was a hard 21. He went 6 of 23 from the field. He ended up taking more free throws than what he got as points. He did go 4 of 10 from 3. They left him open a couple times, and he was able to make them pay for it. And then he also got to the free throw line, which is still good to see him do. He went 5 of 5. He also had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals. He had 1 offensive rebound, 2 personal fouls, and was a +1 and plus minus. But he needed to shoot the ball way better. And if they play again, hopefully he does. And they need him to play better in the playoffs. Because if you have a game like this against the better teams, you might not get the win. And they won this one by a couple points. So, it was a closer one. And then Donovan Mitchell stepped up for him. 35 minutes. He ended up having 31 points. He went 12 of 19 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, 6 of 6 from the free throw line. Good driving ability, good pull-ups. He didn't knock down the threes the way he wanted to, but he also didn't take a ton of them. He found other ways to score in this game. Other things opened up for him, and he was able to have a good scoring night because of that. He had 7 rebounds and 4 assists. He also had 2 turnovers and a block. He also had 1 offensive rebound, 2 personal fouls, and was a +20 and plus minus. And then you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, they ended up being good. They all scored off the bench. That's something that you want to see a lot of, and they did it in this one. 15 minutes for Dennis Schroeder. He ended up having 5 points. He went 2 of 4 from the field. He missed his only three. He made his only free throw. He did a good job of driving, though. He had 1 rebound, 3 assists. The 3 assists was tied with Sam Merrill for the most off the bench. He had 2 turnovers and 2 personal fouls and was a -22 and plus minus. Max Strus was able to knock down 2 threes, and then he was able to make a shot near the basket. He finished with 8 points. That was the most points off the bench. He went 3 of 7 from the field, 2 of 5 from three. He had 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 1 personal foul, and was a -2 and plus minus. And then Sam Merrill played 27 minutes. That was the most off the bench. He kept getting open threes, and he had the trigger finger going. And he went 2 of 3 from the three-point line, so he finished with 6. And then he had no turnovers, 1 steal. He did get in foul trouble. They kept attacking him. He couldn't really guard the way he needed to, but, I mean, for a guy that's coming off the bench, it was going to be limited time anyway, especially because the starters played so well. No turnovers for him, though. And then Keon Ellis played 22 minutes. He had 5 points. He went 1 of 4 from three, but he went 2 of 2 from the free throw line. He got a block, 1 assist, 1 rebound, and no turnovers. He had 1 personal foul and was a -2 and plus minus. And then you look at the comparisons. The Cavaliers took 10 less shots because they took 88. The Hawks took 98. 47% from the field for the Cavaliers. 48 for the Hawks, 36% from three for the Cavaliers, 35% for the Hawks, but they took 1 less three, the Cavaliers did. And then 35 free throws for the Cavaliers. They shot 80%. Only 15 for the Hawks. They shot 67%. The free throws didn't matter because, like I said, it was a free throw contest at the end of the game. And the Cavaliers had to make theirs enough to keep the lead to be able to win the game because there was still time on the clock for the Hawks to be able to make a little bit of a comeback. They tried, but they didn't get enough stops, and they couldn't really stop fouling, and they couldn't really keep their heads in the game enough to be able to pull this one out. And then 47 rebounds for the Cavaliers, 43 for the Hawks, 22 assists for the Cavaliers, 23 for the Hawks. Both teams had 11 turnovers, 6 steals for the Cavaliers, 8 for the Hawks. Both teams had 6 blocks, 10 offensive rebounds, 37 defensive rebounds for the Cavaliers, 33 for the Hawks. 14 personal fouls for the Cavaliers, 25 for the Hawks. Then you think about it, and you realize they were just a little bit more mature. They was a little bit more ready. They was a little bit more better at what they was trying to do. And that ended up being just a small thing that they had to continue to do to be able to get this win over the Hawks. The Hawks are a newer group, and they're still figuring out what works and what doesn't work. And guys didn't really step up the way that they needed to, when it mattered. And throughout the game in general, especially some of their better players just didn't shoot the ball as well as they needed to keep, the pressure on the Cavaliers to make decisions and make plays on both ends. And the Cavaliers was able to do it enough anyway to stay ahead, to be able to get the win in the fourth quarter. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell to get that analysis when it first comes out. Y'all stay blessed up. Y'all stay good. Peace. And I'll see y'all later today with more analysis.